The things that people are carrying around on a daily basis are getting so out of hand. Photography and videography are really expensive. You don't really need probably 90% of what is being peddled on the internet. There needs to be a change in the mindset that we have when we talk about gear. We need to focus on de-influencing from what is being recommended to influencing towards what is needed. I want to show you my own EDC camera bag as someone who has left the professional photo and video space, and share with you what I carry on a daily basis as a regular person with a job, a dad, a husband, and somebody who loves photography and video. Let's get into it. I think you're gonna love this. Stay with me. Here's some cool B-roll. Let's do this. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have right here with me the best camera bag that I've been able to come across. I've looked at Peak Design, I've looked at the Ulanzi, the Low Pro, the Shimoda, the Atlas, the Billingham, the Wotancraft. All of these bags, they're all great. Keep that in mind. But what I've found, I am in love with. I love this bag. I didn't like it for a long time. Now I'm in love with it. And that came as I figured out what I needed. I figured out what I had and I aligned them. Next to me, I have the Mountain Smith Knack 10 liter. This is not a new bag at all. I think it's about 10 years old. And this one is cool because it has this neat little patch on the back. And if any of you are into landscape photography or adventure photography at any level, you may recognize it. It's a Chris Burkhardt collaboration with Mountain Smith. I got this outer shell, this tan part, at the thrift store. It was $3. That's pretty awesome. It's just a lumbar pack, which means it has straps that insert so you can balance the weight between your shoulders or one shoulder and your waist. I take it off 90% of the time because I just walk around with this bag and that's obnoxious. The outside of this bag, all of this tan part that you see is separate from the insert. The insert is just a regular camera cube. It's a 10-liter cube. It has a soft top with a drawstring opening, so when it's inside the bag, you cinch it up and everything's closed off and protected inside. Let's look at this a little more and I'll show you where the functionality is for me. This bag, it is rated as like a 10-liter bag, but the reality is it's got way more because just the cube that fits inside it is the 10-liter part. So on the outside, you've got two pockets, just drawstring, paracord cinch enclosures. On this side, I keep a handkerchief. And on this side, I have a Peak Design strap that came with my camera when I bought it. The front pocket is very spacious. I use it for all of my cables and for my filter set. So my filter set, I got for free from my mother-in-law as a Christmas present. She used it for a while. She's a landscape photographer as well. I have a couple circular polarizers and a little ND set that I used to use. This is so much better. Magnetic system, they all lock on. You can get these actually really cheap on eBay because they're discontinued. I think it's the Case Wolverine set. So compared to the original retail, you can save a couple $100. Anyway, all of my cables, got Lightning, Apple Watch, USB to USB-C, and I don't I don't know what this cable is actually called. It's the really old USB cord to USB. It's like the little trapezoid USB. I'll insert some shots so you know what I'm talking about. But I use this on a 23 or 22-year-old Canon EOS 20D. Keep all of those in here. Water-resistant fabric on the outside. And then you have all of this webbing for mounting stuff. So inside the bag, this is where it gets a little more interesting. I hope you guys don't mind me leaning over to talk into this microphone. It fits with the theme of this de-influencing video to use something that's a little bit ridiculous that I got for free. Inside, we have this pouch. It flips out. What I keep in this is this microphone and the cables for it. So it sits right in there. And when you have this all the way unzipped, it opens fully so you can get right inside the bag to the goodies, which is where we're going next. Boom. This is the insert. This was $21 on their website, so the insert cost more than the exterior shell. The partnership between Chris Burkhardt and Mountainsmith apparently didn't go very well. That partnership has been erased from the internet, minus a couple clearance items that still exist and any used stuff that is out there. Let me show you what is in this bag. It's pretty compact and it is pretty minimal, and it serves me really well. As far as de-influencing and talking about lowering our expectations and our budgets, some of you might think that what I have is not a budget kit, and I don't blame you for that. I used to do this professionally, so I thought it would be worth putting more money into stuff. Keep that in mind as we go through this. So opening up this sucker, you just undo that little cinch cord, and inside there, it's yellow. I love that they make the inside nice and bright so you can see it, because when I go up in the canyon by my house at night to do some astro or whatever else is going on in the dark, there's not a lot else besides that, I can see everything in here. I've got my headlamp and it just spreads the light all over inside the bag. That was such a smart feature that I wouldn't have thought of or even thought that I needed. First, inside this bag, I have a mantis pod. This thing is my everyday all around town use it because I need something quick tripod. I work in downtown Salt Lake City, so when I go out and do a photo walk, there is a huge variety of options for me to mount this sucker up and just get some shots, whether it's of me, whether it's me wanting to do more of a long exposure in the evening, or anything else that might necessitate a tripod. This thing does the majority of what I need, and it was like $30. It's got great build quality. The camera's always felt safe going onto this mount. I tried the Ulanzi one, the Ulanzi like knockoff where it flips out with the button. That thing is a piece of crap. I do not recommend that. This is worth whatever couple extra dollars it is. I think it's gone up in price since I got it, and I got it on Prime Day deal, so watch out. There's deals out there. Check the local used marketplace. This is something that if you can get this used for like $20 or $30, just do that. There's no reason to buy this brand new unless you're obsessive about that kind of stuff, which I'm not going to judge you for that. Next, battery case. This is 3 extra batteries for my camera. The reason I have 3 extra batteries is not because I do a ton of work and have a lot going on and I need to always be able to change out a battery whenever something happens. It's purely because I'm lazy and I don't recharge my stuff when I probably should. I got these when I bought my camera. I got the camera on eBay and it came with this pouch and these batteries. So that's why I use this. I probably would only buy 2 if I were going out of my own pocket for new stuff. This is a great little setup. I never am worried about batteries. I just charge 2 of them at a time, and when I need them I break them out, charge the next 2 when I'm not using those, and occasionally I have all 4 charged, like right now, which is great. Next, this is one of my favorite things that I have purchased. This is something you can find great deals on. Great deals for the quality of this lens. It is not the best, but my gosh, it's freaking good for what it is. That is the Tamron 28 to 200 millimeter f2.8 to f5.6. This lens is a monster. You can do so much with this. Beginners, if you need a good zoom lens for travel, this is probably what you want. So I have my filter mount on this for the case system. It's got this really slick magnetic lens cap, and that just lives in that pocket when I'm not using it. Last couple small things in this bag. They're not used as much, but when I do use them, I'm really glad I have them. This is a teeny tiny little arm that I can mount stuff on. 2 1/4-inch thread mounts. If I want to have a monitor using the monitor and control app, I can stick this on top of the camera and I have a phone mount. Then I have a phone that's mounted on my camera that I can use as a monitor, and it does a great job. Speaking of that phone mount, this is not in the bag right now, but this is my phone. My iPhone 13 died and I just bit the bullet and traded it in. Got a couple $100 off a 16 Pro. It's really similar to my 13, but the battery is good and the camera's better. And on this, I have a phone mount. It's got the Mantis Pod base plate on it. It matches the Peak Design one. and they both work in the Mantis Pod tripod. The reason I don't put this on the camera is because I have a Peak Design capture clip that I use when I go hiking, and I leave that on the cage that I keep my camera in, so I can just keep my camera with me when I hike. No use keeping it in the bag. So there's that. Now, last of all, there is one little cord right here that I folded up specifically so that I don't have to unfold it. I can plug it into my camera, then plug the other end into my phone. Keep this on hand, so that's always an option. What we're gonna do next is swap to my iPhone so I can show you the camera, and we'll talk about why I have this camera, why I have this lens that I'm filming on, and delve into that side of things. Okay, swap is done. So the camera that I use is this one, a Sony a7 IV. Now, I know what a lot of people will probably say, there's nothing de-influenced about an a7 IV. Yeah, you're pretty much right. The reason I have it is because it fits my needs, and it fits the work that I used to do, and I've just kept it because I'm too lazy to go and sell it now. I like it too much, and I don't want to go and downgrade my lenses to APS-C. I don't want to get an older version. I like what this does, so I stuck around with it. I use this for everything. There isn't a single photo, video related setting that I would not be comfortable taking this camera to. And I know it's not like the top performer. It's not going to do what an FX3 does. The reality is that it's not made for that. And I'm okay with that. I think that I don't do anything intense enough to warrant anything more than this. And I think that in a lot of settings nowadays, this is probably too much for what I do. I got this camera on eBay for $1,600, 12,000 shutter count. It came with this cage, the Peak Design strap I mentioned earlier, and the 4 batteries with the case for those. The benefit that I've seen from having this camera on me every day has seriously been maximized once I found a lens that pushed me a little more. And let me show you what lens that is. This one, Sigma 16 to 28 f2.8. I got this when I was doing real estate work, and I needed something that was internal zoom, a little bit of a slightly broad range on the wider end. This fit the bill perfectly. The body is stabilized, so I wasn't worried about that. I used to shoot on an A7C. Now it's up here, mounted on the wall, because it got soaked in the ocean. Rest in peace. But I got this lens, paired with that camera, it was a super light little combination. I don't know how much this thing weighs, I don't really care, to be honest. I know that my old Generation 1 Zhiyun, I don't know how to say that company, Zhiyun Crane 1, it could hold this, and it could hold this on the A7C, and that was perfect. This lens though has been an eye-opener for me. I only used it for real estate work until I got this camera body. And I didn't even use this for about 6 months after that because I just didn't really know what to do with it. I really like tighter focal lengths and super zoom focal ranges. One day I decided it would be fun during my lunch break to go around downtown Salt Lake City and try some street photography. So I did. I used this lens and oh my gosh, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this super wide angle view of everything going on around me. I was getting shots that I wanted on my Tamron 28-200, but didn't realize a wider focal length would enable me to get. It really narrowed down my focus to what I'm doing at that moment, what am I seeing, how am I capturing the interesting parts of what's going on. And by putting energy into this lens, I grew as a photographer a lot. So this one lives on my camera a lot of the time nowadays. When I'm just out walking around, going to work, or walking around with my family, I usually take this one. I'd love to do a video on this lens later on. Please comment if you would be interested in hearing more about my experience learning to love the wider focal length. These two together, A7 IV, Sigma 16-28, and then I paired that combination with the 28-200, and I can cover any situation that I'm interested in shooting. What you need to do when you're thinking about de-influencing all of this stuff that's being shoved into your ears all the time, what do I want to create specifically? What are the requirements to do that? A lot of the time, it's not what you think it is. The reality is that I have more fun most days and produce images that I feel a lot better about on my 22 to 23-year-old Canon 20D than I do on this A7 IV. It feels better when I've created something really beautiful on something that is a hindrance to the user. With the older cameras, things that require energy, you learn so much faster. The learning curve pushes you, and the limitations of the technology force you to get creative. And I think that what I love about the creative process is just enjoying whatever I'm doing with what I already have. So my challenge and my hope is that you would be able to look at what you have. Just do a holistic view of the things that you have in your possession already and go make something with it. It doesn't need to be crazy. I'm shooting on an iPhone right now. Everybody has one. This is a point that gets driven so far into the ground, I don't even know if it's worth repeating, that you can shoot on an iPhone and produce great stuff. So that's it for my camera bag. That's everything I carry on a daily basis and why I have it. If there's anything that you think I ought to carry, let me know. Or if I've gone overboard and gone down a rabbit hole that doesn't help this point at all, let me know. Also, I'd love to hear what your everyday carry is, and really, like, what is your favorite piece of gear that you use? What do you leave stuck to your hip day to day? Tell us in the comments. I'm working to build a community of people that are interested in doing more with less. And I would love if you come and be a part of that. If you enjoyed this video, it's a no-brainer. You're gonna love what's coming. We're gonna talk about the outdoors, more gear, probably more gear after that. We're gonna talk about lifestyle on a budget. How do you have experiences without giving up your resources? We'll talk about the socioeconomic issues in Utah, probably. I love it here. Like, subscribe, leave a comment here, get on the train. We're gonna talk about clearing out your brain and getting you to the point where you know that you have what you need and you're happy and content with it. That's gonna be it. You are important and you are capable, and I'm glad that you're here. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.